Good morning. It's 0600 hours and 48 minutes, Tuesday, September 25th, 2018. Voting. Now you just probably seen me. And election. What does that really mean? For how many years have we been voting and electing people? Selection, the fathers, the Constitution, the amendments, the laws. How much did that matter? This is there was to understand that there was like 8 presidents before the actually first president, and we're on the 45th president. Well, 45th, yes. And there's elections coming up. I am 35. I have voted my whole life since I was 18. At the age of 18, I was in the military. You would think the way I think is the non way to think, because it's not. I'm literally stating like practical and logical. That's the words I'm going to use of what I choose to do and why. Yet our economy has not gotten better. Things don't matter when you vote or not. So you telling me all of a sudden, even though we had Bush, we had Clinton, Trump is here, he's doing a worse job than they are. Obama for the first time, that's my man's. He did a great job. Like they talked about the first colored president because he's not. He's black in the sense of what we call black. Black overseas, born there, and born here is totally different. Unless your parents is from overseas and they moved here. But even still, it's still totally different. It's not the same. We keep thinking over here we're more than slave. Over there, we're more mentally enslaved over here. Over there, they are mentally and they are more physically enslaved. I know more is may not be a word to you. It is to me. They're more mentally, they're physically enslaved than over here in America, this country, the North America, United States. We're mentally enslaved. And so far in my life, I did being a Democrat, independent, Republic, liberal, conservative, left wing, right wing, nationalist, socialist. I don't know all these things. I don't study them. I don't care to because it's no point to me. And just from understanding that all the parties are the same. We saying, well, there's more of this. This is what happened. Then somehow we found a way. The parties, just like religion, the religions that came later somehow became the true form identity of what we should follow. The be all, say all. And then it became the bad. It's like it need a bad guy, good guy ratio. I understand balance, but there's no, I'm saying forced balance. They're forcing people. We are so divided. We're divided like the race I am. We're divided by religion versus like black power, pro black versus black power, Christian versus Hebrew Israelite, Christian versus Jehovah Witness, Jehovah versus Muslim versus, and it's like, and even in our homes, we're divided, we're separated. But some people got married, some people didn't. Some family members went to college, got a good life. Some started business. Some took care of their mothers or their fathers. Some didn't. It's like we're so divided and so many. It's like I drew a picture of it. It's like the NCAA tournament. Don't start from the 64 teams. I think they added it. Now it's 64. Is it more than 64? It's over 200 Division I college teams. So we have 64 is kind of weird, but okay. And you start from the last two. And the last two, the only balance in this world that is constant, just like the most constants of what the Creator gave me as his name, is the Creator, the Father, because of the Phi and Ma, particle, aura, the vibration, and Ma, Pa, Father, the Almighty and the Creator. It's all Almighty. We got all these names for him. And of course, will work because we're calling on the power to work. Power is going to work. It's got to go in a direction and it has an ability. You're using your ability. So don't think because, oh, are you working with the, well, I seen people curse people and it worked. Like we act like it's so, I don't know, I understand it. And I'm watching, I'm constantly learning new information, like how Uncle Tom is the wrong name. Uncle Tom is when we thought when we called the brother or the black woman who's trying to fit in, and then they go out of society, then they make a name for themselves, and they start acting like they don't know where they came from. They give up on their family, they give up on their people. Wrong. That's called Sambo. Uncle Tom is the actual man that was advocating for the black people, quote unquote black in America. That was talking about freeing slaves and getting his people right. The Sambo is the man. Like that's so to me, Sambo is house nigga. You the house nigga. You gonna always be that way. So every time I hear the word nigga, and like that's like saying nigger. Like there's no difference in me. There's no variance in me because I'm only you're going to use the word one direction. I'm not going to try to have multiple views on a word that was created to destroy us. But we'll look at the word voodoo and say, look at that voodoo or juju. But if you know where the word voodoo come from, we don't do our research. And I don't use the cliche because it's a cliche. You put it in the book, black people don't read it. No, that's not true. Because I read books and I've been told to lie. So that's not true. That's not true whatsoever. That's why I don't like, that's why I say I'm here to help guide and challenge because I hate people trying to like put their ways on people, just the way people think. That's not what you would truly be here for. If you was here to really help people and I heard people, I get mad too. And I would say stuff to people too, but I would never tell the person that's in my neighborhood I grew up in selling the crack and the weed, oh, F you. Well, we done. No, I need him to stop. I need her to stop. I need them to understand that what they're doing is still destruction. They still are account of their ability. It's their responsibility. So their response and their action is their fault. It's nobody else's fault for the things you do. Once you gain knowledge of, it's no longer nobody's fault. Only way it's a blame is you still having to acknowledge it yourself. That's understand. I am very understandable when people don't understand why. But when you have a why, I am no longer understanding. We're gonna try to come to a some type of dialogue, a conversation. Let's try to get this correct so the next generation don't have to be incorrect. So we got to lie about like people will say or such as, not like, I hate the word like, such as Santa Claus, he's not real. No, I'm not going to tell a child that. So don't bring your child around me. There's no, because as you keep, if you're going to keep that lie, that means you're going to cover up a lot of other things. You can't tell them it's a Santa Claus and then use your religion. Because if you do that, you got to know the history. Holidays was not really heavily favored until the 1930s. I was born in 1982. And at that time, if you go on 1930s to 80, that's 52 years. My mother is 62. I am 35. So when you start doing all this math, this still have not long happened. My mother, them experienced blacks only doors, white only doors. We're still not long off what our parents been through. then you keep telling us or me, people like me, to be quiet. You're constant. I will never say I'm concentrating on the wrong thing. I have to take myself. I know what I'm doing is best for me. And I know if I'm going to raise a child, I have to find out what's best for that child. You got to hear that again. You have to find out what's best for that child. Because I see people, I don't care. People that's born, like, and I had made a message. Are you better than your parents? And the answer is, it can be a yes and no. One person responded and said yes. And as I wrote to the person, I was like, I'm not just talking about, I left out the financials on one thing on purpose. I say, are you better than them mentally, spiritually, emotionally? What have you done since you are better than your parents to say you're better than? And I was like, I don't know your story, but I guarantee you, since you said that, and just from experience, what I have and been around people, I know why you said that. He didn't even have to respond, or she, and I know it was a he. And that's the thing about people. I go right into their spirit. It's a more of a gift. I used to just try to deny it. But the first thing you talk about your gifts with people, they say, watch out, be careful. I don't want to be careful. I don't want to watch out. I want everything that's going to come towards me. I know I'm not going to get blown up or shot. I know I'm not going to prison. So I carry myself in a manner of such, in a manner of a way. So if you already carrying yourself, I don't carry myself to get arrested or shot or blown up. I don't walk around my day in such of a manner to get shot or blown up. And that's what people gotta, and you gotta think, when you was looking down that road and you seen a warning, I'm the type of person that's taking all those warnings. Somebody, OJ, why would you go that far out your way in that direction? Because you didn't just see what I just saw. And then I had to stop getting mad at situations where I was like, wow, this took forever. But I had to really think about why it took forever. I was like, if it didn't take forever, I probably wouldn't be standing here today. If I thought I was just going to go that direction, I probably wouldn't be standing here. And most likely I wouldn't. So the voting in the elections, it has no, so far in my life, voting never made us. Like, we can say oppression, whatever it's called. My mother made it through. She raised us without my father there. He gave his little 2 cents literally every so many months or so many times out the year. It's not a diss to him. He know what he did. He know what he, because he even admitted to things his father done and why he do the same thing. But I learned as in a curse, you only can do as the curse tell you. And I was just like even having the conversation with the spirit of the creator. I was like, if I don't have a child, I do not pass down none of the curses. But I also do not pass down the seed of who I am. So my options are not predicated on, yes, I want to get married, I want to have children. But what is my options for my children? See, nobody think about that. And in 2018, we bring up Tupac and Brenda had a baby. Brenda got a baby. There's another song out there, I cannot recall it at this moment, when we talk about girls having babies. That haven't changed. We thought the birth rate was going down because the abortion rate went up. And if we so-called look at the status of this country, if you look at abortion clinics, it's always in like rural to urban areas. They're created in those areas. If we look at a lot of things, it connects. And it's not even just mumbo jumbo talk. Everything really connects. That's why when people say things to you and they don't notice it, I don't even really go into it with them. And it usually don't last long for a conversation because to me, I start hitting them with now, like discussion of who's the greatest basketball player of all time. We got these top 10 guys that was exceptional. And the other guys behind them, by a small margin, like the guy, I'm gonna use the word he used, margin, that made them the exception. But I like even by that margin, that didn't make them exception because he even used, okay, Jordan has 6 rings. He's 6-0 in the finals. But I learned 11 is greater than 6. But if he the greatest of all time, but the one that has 11 rings, so Bill Russell is not the greatest. But when we compare LeBron to Jordan, but we would say Jordan the greatest. When I'm like Bill Russell's got 11. So how do we skip Bill Russell? How did Jordan? And it's like, okay, not even rings. Look at accolades and achievements. I was like, so in statistics, I was like, well, they all the same. Those top 10 guys. And I was like, if you want to skip over, then there's a guy also with 6 rings. They're like Jordan's unblemished in the finals. He's 6-0. I was like, so 11-0 is unblemished as well. So when you start getting into now, it no longer become expounding and exalting. It become a debating and argument because what they're trying to argue is logic. You cannot no longer argue logic under logical circumstances. Now, your perspective is your opinion. It became an opinion he's the greatest. But if a guy come along and outdoes him, because we're not counting ring, because you're telling me 11 is not greater than 6, and the other guys have 3. So, and the other guy has been to the finals more than 6 times. The guy that been to the finals 11 times been to the finals more than 6 times, or and more than 8 times. So you're telling me 6 is greater than 11, but statistically he has the same. Like, all 3 have the same numbers with the top 10 guys, and other top 10 guys. Lou Alcindor was his name, but he changed his name to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He has 6 rings as well. And if you want to count their whole career in life, Kareem has a ring in high school. Jordan don't have a high school ring. Bill Russell does too. So what are we picking from? So it comes in. It's no more matters of facts. So the dude try to use facts. People, I say I don't have this. I just have the discussion. I leave the rings, the statistics alone. I just break it down in practicality and logic. I won't say not a word. Logicality, comprehension. So if we cannot choose that, how can we come to a ground? So a voting in election doesn't never matter. It didn't affect my mother and her household. My father paid a little bit of child support didn't help us. We got men crying about it. We got people saying that's the well, even when it didn't help us. It was 4 of us. He made a great job. So he working all those hours and let's say he getting paid over 18, 2,000, $3,000 every 2 weeks. That's nothing giving us only $100 to $200 a month or $300 a month. That's nothing. That's 4,000 out of he's only taking out like $300. That's helping us. And then if he's not really doing nothing, if he's not even there in his time, he's doing nothing. Money don't do nothing. So having these elections is not changing our stand. And I say I'm no longer. I was gonna put my TV up. I was gonna buy me the PlayStation. I love playing the game, but I retired from it. I retired from watching football, and it's hard to watch. I even tried watching the movie Black Panther. It's hard to watch because once you know the truth, you sitting there like I can't watch this. Not so much in the spirit, just the truth. Like this is hard the movie to watch. It's not. It's a place not called Wakanda, but it's called Guyana. Is what else? Congo. That they was going through this. We didn't war and kill and rape our women back then. I'm gonna keep saying this. That came from something else. That didn't come from us. People loving people, building a nation. We was a nation builder. Of course, we had kings and people that worked hard, but they wasn't treated the way we are treated now. You get sick and you call off, you need a doctor's note and just I'm taking your word. I called off 2 days. I need a doctor's note to prove I was sick. But when you show no signs, now there's people that's just late, call off, all off. There's something wrong. You need to just go talk to someone to see what's wrong, or they just doing it because they just can do it. They don't. We focus on the wrong things in life. I'm not focused on no elections or no voting. That don't make or break who I am. If that's the case, I wouldn't be standing here. If elections and voting work towards my well-being, we wouldn't have to struggle to find resources. Black companies that's hidden up, that's not in, the companies wouldn't never, they have to pass laws so companies don't destroy each other. How do you think the rich get richer? Because the poor get beat up on more. That's the only way. Poor don't get poor. The rich got richer because the poor get beat up on more. See, they're poor because they're not rich in mind and hurt. So you only poor by your heart and your mind. See, and you still won't look at that because they're teaching you about, well, my Jesus got me. Jesus have done nothing for me. See, and it sounds funny to you. Your God is not supposed to be down here. He's your guider. He said, I'm here to guide you. Follow these commitments. It will go well. But there's gonna be obstacles and things in front of you. I'm not gonna try you, but it's going to happen because when I created this earth, I didn't come as a person to control you. You're not robots. I wanted you to have life. I wanted you to live with me because our creator, and then think about this. If he's truly alone, he's the one and only, don't you think he don't want to be by himself no more? Why you think we hunger? Why you think we thirst? Yes, I am thirsty for a wife. Yes, I am thirsty for that woman that I find attractive and beautiful. Whether she have on boondocks in her head, a do-rag, a bonnet, I think she's beautiful because she's a woman. God designed me as a man to look at a woman and say I can like her. Whether it's through lust or an infatuation, I'm not worried about what you gonna say about me. I clicked on that picture with a booty because I thought her booty was nice. She's half naked, so be it. That's her life. I'm not going to choose a wife like that because I want to have a daughter because my mother showed me a different way. There's women out there showing me different ways. They don't have to be naked whatsoever. They don't need to have sex tapes to be great. I don't have to be a certain way just to feel like I made it. Every time I heard a person say you're going to be rich and wealthy, I knew they wasn't talking about money. But if it's money, so be it. And it'd be nice to have money because I want to do every year. I want to go to the prisons. I want to say, dude, I don't know what you've been through, but let's play a game of basketball together. I want to come see you. I want to know why let's talk about it. There's nothing wrong with talking about your problems. I've done some things. Not so much I should be in prison for them, but I need to be chastised. I'm not exempt. You're not exempt. But now I know. When I knew stealing was wrong, I stopped stealing. The day I heard the young woman say, you can burn a copy of a CD to give to a person to listen. Okay, she said that's not wrong. Now, if you're selling the copy that you burnt to give a duplicate of it to another person, that's wrong. That's when we step in. So I can use your name, but when it's wrong, when I start defaming, if I say exactly what I'm using your name for, instructional purposes, I am not wrong. But you have to know that law. See, the law is all. I say all because the spirit of the earth, that's what it is. But if you want to get now into our creator, the law of the creator and the law of the earth is not the same. The law of the earth was not based off the law of the creator. It's not even close. Because if you're basing off the law of the creator, because if even using a car, a conveyor, a vehicle, that's pollution to the earth. So he did it for the simple understanding. Well, if they're going 65, you should go 65. Anything else, you're breaking the spirit. Excuse me, drinking water. You're not doing as the spirit is. But the creator also said, in cases you do not have to follow the spirit. The creator have not commanded us to do wrong. The creator have not commanded us to do any plight on our life that would danger us. He gave us a choice. It's an option. It's like you have an opinion. See how these words still line up to each other? They all start off the same way as well. That means two can come together. Just give me the light. So as we go around thinking these elections going to be so important, they're not important at all. It's not important to the right people get into the positions. I don't care who you are, and they got to be strong. And it's got to be their choice. Do they want to die? They don't want to die. I don't blame them. Just like I've been watching ESPN, like I'm watching like these the world. And you're gonna be surprised how the people look. Everybody be saying, "Oh, it's white people." No, there's black people that's doing this too. They're sitting there with them. They're cahoots. They're co-opting together. It's not even because of the color of the skin, because they're basing it off whatever they believe in. That's their belief. That's their religion. I watch people get mad at me as a young African descent, quote unquote, African and black man for not wanting to be buddy buddy with my counterpart, aka Middle Eastern, Asian, Hispanic, Caucasus man. I'm not so free on that. But there's chains on me. The woman tried to curse me. I said, that's a curse I rebuke. I declare and decree I am still here to deliver. I will release you and do things you say. And I put it into my word. I was like, talk to me as you was talking to me face to face. Don't write a full like 19 sentence paragraph to say what you want to just say to me. That's not how I wrote you. That's not how I commented to you. I was asking you questions to get understanding. And I wanted to be understood as you wanted to be understood. So we just can't make depictions of how we assume how we want people to be. Said something crazy like she said something to a lady about thy neighbor being good or loving thy neighbor, something about ethnicity. It's not specific to demons are not specific to a certain ethnicity. Some crazy stuff. And I wrote her, and she wrote me back, and she wrote like she didn't write me back to the next one because I know she ain't gonna write me back because either it's an agent or a person that's not trying to expound or exhort. There's going to be no conversation because they don't people like that don't want that. So when you guide them and challenge somebody, and then another guy, I seen in person, I was like, why are you so hostile about your religion, dude? I didn't come at no religion. And then people you talk to like, see what you're doing, you talk about the religion. I was like, you just literally sat there every time we talk or everything I said, and you're literally saying that, well, for me and for what you do, I was like, I didn't talk like that. I was saying, well, this is why I came to this, my perspective. And it was not one way. I wasn't choosing one way perspective. This is the only and the only. No, there's not the only and the only. Because then that wouldn't make it a balance. That means what would be the purpose of your religion or the God you call a God? So as we get out here, you can vote. I'm not saying voting. If anything, vote for your city councils. We started doing that. We started picking better people to get into the higher power. And even that, we're gonna still find a little bit of stupidity people that make it through. But still, do your part at least. And if you don't want to vote, you don't have to vote. It's not mandatory. It's not changing anything. People say, well, nothing changed because we made no difference. Well, I know when I got up today and I actually did something that made a change. I know when I voted, it didn't make a change. According to the votes, the guy that's president now lost the voting. Somehow he won this thing they always like to use called the electoral college. Those are like the bigger business. So you telling me one business account for 30 people. That's basically or 30,000 people. So that one can exempt 30,000 or 300,000 people. That's what you're saying that happening, right? That's what you're literally saying. and never argue the truth. Why? And then I ask people why never they ever just like voting. How do they never explain how voting works? Why is that? Start thinking about these. Why is law never explained? You ever walk up to a building and it's like ordinance 26, chapter 4, revision 6, amendment, not amend, amend 2. Google that and read what it says before you walk in that building. That you under law, rules, and regulations of that building once you step inside that building. They can do whatever they like under that law. When I say unto one, I say unto all. It's your choice, it's your path, your journey. Choose wisely. You are great. Be great. Love yourself. Have all the things that is designed for you to work for you. Voting in an election matters, but it don't matter to me. I've been too much to say this is going to matter. This is going to the outcome and affect my life. When yet have my life have been the outcome or effect of the voting. It didn't change. I remember I worked the same amount of hours, making less money. In 2008, I worked 40 hours a week. I made $825. I made $300. I make $12. I work 40 hours a week. I make $300. That's Texas. Shalom. Have a great day.